The Corset of Madness, A Streetcar Named Desire, 1951. Vivien Leigh's portrayal of Blanche Dubois in Elia Kazan's 1951 production of A Streetcar Named Desire is lauded as one of cinema's most psychologically complex performances. Yet tucked away in the fabric of the film lies a subtlety many fans miss: the deteriorating state of Blanche's wardrobe. Costume designer Lucinda Ballard gradually weathered Blanche's dresses, fading, staining, and distressing them, to parallel the character's psychological unraveling. This silent visual cue can slip by unnoticed, but brings an eerie depth to repeated viewings. Another behind-the-scenes maneuver that provoked controversy. Director Elia Kazan supposedly urged emotional distance between Leigh and her fellow actors, including Marlon Brando. Several biographies claim it was a calculated effort to intensify Blanche's isolation on camera. Whether it was a masterstroke or a problematic choice is still debated among movie historians. Whispers have circulated about the production for decades. One long-standing rumor suggests Leigh kept personal notes, excerpts from Tennessee Williams' original stage instructions, in her costumes, providing a tangible anchor to Blanche's fractured psyche. Though never confirmed, this notion contributes to speculation that she blurred the line between character and self to an extraordinary degree. Leigh's mental health struggles became public knowledge by the mid-1950s, when she was hospitalized for bipolar disorder. Some speculate that inhabiting Blanche's anguish may have worsened her condition. While no direct cause is proven, the timing continues to spark debate. And though Leigh's role earned her a second Academy Award for Best Actress, it left a legacy of artistic brilliance overshadowed by a personal toll, a hidden strand woven into the tapestry of Hollywood's golden age. Real Diamonds and Silent Footage, Sunset Boulevard, 1950. A particularly haunting hidden gem in Billy Wilder's 1950 noir classic Sunset Boulevard lies in the casting itself. Gloria Swanson, a former silent film icon, didn't merely portray Norma Desmond. She brought her own legacy to the role. Swanson wore her actual diamond jewelry from her silent film career, a subtle but pointed nod to Norma's obsession with faded stardom. The mansion's decor added an extra dimension of eerie authenticity, featuring real photographs from Swanson's early years in Hollywood. But Wilder didn't stop there. He inserted footage from Swanson's abandoned 1929 silent film Queen Kelly, directed by Erich von Stroheim, who also plays Norma's devoted butler Max. That metacasting alone blurred the line between fiction and reality, but using Queen Kelly as Norma's old film within the film turned the moment into a cinematic hall of mirrors. The film's opening funeral for Norma's pet chimpanzee has long puzzled viewers. While Wilder never officially explained it, film scholars often interpret it as a metaphor for Norma's lost innocence and vanished youth. Some even surmise it symbolized the death of silent cinema itself. And in the infamous final scene, Norma's descent down the staircase into madness, cinematographer John F. Seitz used high-contrast lighting and deep focus to heighten her psychological unraveling. While rumors suggest a distorting lens was used, most evidence points to lighting and framing doing the heavy lifting. Swanson's performance was so layered that some critics at the time questioned whether the role hit too close to home. And while her real-life return to the screen wasn't as desperate as Norma's, the parallels were hard to ignore. The result? A film that didn't merely reflect Hollywood, it exposed its underbelly in plain sight. Terry Malloy, On the Waterfront, 1954. A pigeon's hunch, a borrowed glove, and a line that echoes beyond the ring, On the Waterfront hides more than it shows. Marlon Brando's slouched stance as Terry Malloy wasn't just a character choice. Various cinema experts propose he modeled it after the birds his character cared for, a subtle nod to Terry's caged existence. A standout moment in the film, Brando handling Eva Marie Saint's glove, was never in the script. That quiet improvisation became a defining beat of vulnerability. During the climactic showdown, Brando reportedly wore his own father's coat, a choice some biographers linked to his strained paternal relationship, though Brando never confirmed the symbolism. Then there's the line, "I could have been a contender." Often credited as fiction, several hold the view it mirrors the real-life regrets of a washed-up boxer Kazan once knew. And while no rooftop plaque has ever been confirmed, whispers continue of a hidden tribute to screenwriter Bud Schulberg, allegedly slipped into the set as a wink to his controversial testimony before the House Un-American Activities Committee. Whether myth or message, every frame of this 1954 classic seems to carry a whisper of rebellion. The equal justice irony. To Kill a Mockingbird, 1962. In the 1962 adaptation of To Kill a Mockingbird, one sign quietly says it all. Positioned above an all-white, all-male jury, the phrase equal justice for all hangs in plain sight, a pointed contradiction that mirrors the film's central conflict. While never directly addressed in dialogue, this visual irony wasn't accidental. Director Robert Mulligan and the production team reportedly obsessed over authenticity, building the courtroom as a near-exact replica of the Monroeville courthouse in Harper Lee's hometown. Even the creaky floorboards were designed to match. Gregory Peck added his own layer of symbolism. He wore his father's pocket watch throughout filming, including during Atticus Finch's climactic courtroom speech. The watch wasn't scripted, it wasn't referenced, but it was there, marking time as Peck delivered his lines in a single emotionally charged take. According to crew members, the tears in that scene weren't planned either. The emotion simply overtook him. The score by Elmer Bernstein also carried understated weight. While no official confirmation ties it to Harper Lee's family, others suspect the lullaby-like piano motif echoes songs from her childhood. Whether intentional or not, it lends a fragile innocence to a film centered on moral disillusionment. Then there's Scout's ham costume, crafted from chicken wire and papier-mâché. It's not merely a quirky footnote. That oddball piece of set design still exists today, preserved in film archives as a reminder of the movie's blend of childhood and harsh reality. And what about Harper Lee herself? She was frequently on set, observing the production closely. Some dare to guess she even appears as an uncredited extra in the courtroom gallery, a rumor still debated by fans, though never confirmed. Despite winning 3 Academy Awards, it's not merely the big moments that define this film. It's the quiet details, the sign, the watch, the costume, that whisper the loudest. They weren't merely background. They were deliberate choices, layered into the frame to deepen a story about justice that never quite arrives. Hidden DeMille Signatures, The Ten Commandments, 1956. Cecil B. DeMille's biblical epic wasn't merely a showcase of ancient drama. It was also a canvas for discreet, often personal touches. A long-circulating rumor suggests that a column in the throne room set features a carved likeness of DeMille himself. Though never officially confirmed, the tale has persisted for decades, with some production veterans hinting it was a low-key inside joke by the art department. This epic's most jaw-dropping moment, the parting of the Red Sea, was a technical marvel for its time. Using slabs of gelatin filmed in reverse, the effect gave the illusion of water walls collapsing and reforming. Visual effects historians still cite it as one of the most inventive pre-digital illusions ever captured on film. Another hidden reference floated in on the Nile. Literally. The baby playing infant Moses was none other than Fraser Heston, the real-life son of Charlton Heston. DeMille reportedly believed the resemblance would lend authenticity to the scene while keeping the production firmly in the family. The costume department, known for its grandeur, leaned heavily on replicas rather than real artifacts. Contrary to some myths, no museum-confirmed Egyptian antiquities were used on set. High-value replicas were the norm, both for preservation and practicality. Legends tease that one panel of hieroglyphics in the palace set spells out DeMille using authentic Egyptian symbols. While fans have long speculated about this hidden tribute, it remains among the film's most enduring mysteries. Part linguistic puzzle, part Hollywood myth. Then there's the tale of the extras. According to oral histories from crew members, some background actors were instructed to chant Hebrew lines phonetically during crowd scenes, but a few reportedly slipped in Yiddish jokes, banking on the booming score to drown them out. Whether mischief or folklore, it brings a hint of humor to the otherwise solemn tone. Even the burning bush scene relied on practical ingenuity. Rather than special effects, a mirror was used to reflect real flames from a hidden source, giving the illusion of divine fire without endangering the set. It was a simple trick, but in true DeMille fashion, it delivered a spectacle. The Clock Tower, High Noon. 85 minutes. That's both the run time of High Noon and the ticking countdown the audience observes in real time. But the movie's most quietly subversive aspect isn't its pacing. It's that towering timepiece dominating the dusty streets. Director Fred Zinnemann employed this timekeeper not just as a suspense device, but as a visual anchor. Marshal Will Kane, portrayed by Gary Cooper, is consistently framed against it, isolated, waiting, and morally trapped. The relentless ticking became a symbol of pressure, judgment, and the price of integrity. While Zinnemann never publicly deemed the dial a metaphor, a group of cinema historians have read it as a discreet commentary on the political paranoia of the period, particularly during the House Un-American Activities Committee investigations. The movie's stark visual style owes much to cinematographer Floyd Crosby, whose sharp contrasts and precise composition granted the chronometer an almost character-like presence. It wasn't just set dressing, it served as a silent witness to a town's ethical failure. Stories circulate that the ticking sound heard throughout wasn't crafted in post-production, but captured from an antique piece sourced from a retired railway station. While not confirmed, this claim adds to the film's mystique, implying even the sound design bore historical significance. A few believe that the timepiece's prominence was the director's understated protest against Hollywood's culture of fear. Intentional or not, that structure evolved into more than a backdrop. It was a countdown to conscience, reminding viewers that remaining quiet in the face of injustice can speak volumes. Off-center wig in the General, Double Indemnity, 1944. Barbara Stanwyck's portrayal of Phyllis Dietrichson in Double Indemnity, released in 1944, is often hailed as a milestone in film noir. Yet beneath her character's icy facade, a few behind-the-scenes details suggest hidden depths. One particularly discussed aspect is the wig. Its slightly off-kilter position during pivotal moments has generated years of speculation. Various movie aficionados propose that Stanwyck requested this subtle disarray to mirror her character's unraveling psyche. Though it remains squarely within Hollywood lore, the detail continues to stoke debate among noir devotees. Another notable feature is the now famous anklet Phyllis consistently wears. Crafted by legendary costume designer Edith Head, it evolved into a visual shorthand for peril cloaked in elegance. Although persistent talk claims the anklet was Stanwyck's personal piece, most reliable sources credit Head's deliberate choices to enhance Phyllis's allure. Director Billy Wilder was known for weaving visual cues into his projects, and Double Indemnity followed suit. One lesser-discussed flourish? A meticulously placed mirror on the living room set, angled to capture Stanwyck's face even when she didn't speak. It's unclear whether this was a planned move or a fortunate coincidence, but it lent a haunting, voyeuristic vibe to her screen presence. During production, Stanwyck was nicknamed the General, a nod to her exacting standards and command on set. Certain reports even suggest crew members wore pins with the moniker in tribute, though this tidbit is repeated more in fan circles than in primary documents. About the deleted scenes, rumors persist of a sequence where Phyllis's actual name emerges as Margaret, a potential nod to Stanwyck's birth name, Ruby Stevens. No known script backs this up, but the theory offers another fascinating angle on the movie's themes of identity and subterfuge. Even the moment of her final scene has spawned its own conjecture. Various crew recollections indicate Wilder scheduled it on Stanwyck's birthday, slipping a card into a prop drawer as a discreet sign of respect. Whether factual or not, it epitomizes the kind of anecdote that blurs the boundary between truth and myth, much like the film itself. The Maltese Cross, the Maltese Falcon, 1941. Weighing over 40 pounds, the prop falcon in John Huston's 1941 noir milestone represented more than greed. It became a centerpiece for legendary behind-the-scenes tales. Multiple versions of the statuette were produced, with at least one cast in solid lead. According to certain reports, actress Lee Patrick dropped that heavy replica on her foot during filming, causing a minor injury. Collectors and movie scholars have long disputed whether a hidden Maltese cross was engraved beneath one of the original props. Some recount that it surfaced decades later when a surviving falcon re-emerged in a private collection in the 1990s. Whether it was a deliberate allusion to the Knights of Malta or a mischievous wink from the prop team, this engraving remains a favorite topic among memorabilia aficionados. Adding to the allure, rumors allege that director John Huston deliberately concealed the statue's true weight from the cast to elicit more authentic reactions. Though no definitive record confirms this strategy, it aligns with Huston's reputation for orchestrating on-set conditions to heighten performances. As for the falcon's deeper meaning, critics often regard it as a symbol of illusion, an object of desire that proves worthless. That viewpoint is underlined by the film's closing line, spoken by Humphrey Bogart, "It's the stuff that dreams are made of." Lifted from Shakespeare's The Tempest, the quote links the entire narrative back to themes of deception, obsession, and the chase for empty treasures. Hidden Messages and Budget Tricks, Casablanca, 1942. A line that became cinematic legend, "Here's looking at you, kid," was not improvised, despite popular belief. It was written into the screenplay, although some cinema scholars mention that Bogart allegedly used the phrase while playing poker with Bergman between takes, lending it a casual familiarity that lingered on screen. The saying itself predates the movie, but its delivery helped secure its iconic status. The movie's opening map sequence, tracing a refugee path from Paris to Casablanca, wasn't merely aesthetic flourish. It closely follows the real escape routes taken by those fleeing Nazi-occupied Europe through Vichy-controlled zones. Warner Brothers was rumored to have crafted the animation meticulously to reflect actual wartime geography, anchoring the plot in stark reality. In Rick's Cafe, the background chatter provided more than mere ambiance. Director Michael Curtiz, originally Mihaly Kertész from Budapest, encouraged extras to speak in their native tongues, Hungarian in particular, to honor his heritage. This multilingual atmosphere added a layer of authenticity to the cafe's global spirit and underscored the film's themes of exile and displacement. The fog-shrouded tarmac in the final scene? That effect wasn't used solely for atmosphere. Due to wartime restrictions, Warner Brothers couldn't acquire a full-sized aircraft. Instead, they relied on a scaled-down model in thick fog to veil its proportions. With creative lighting and forced perspective, what began as a practical limitation turned into a classic cinematic device. The letters of transit, a central plot device, were entirely fictional. No universal pass like that existed, though the notion was fueled by the real forged papers, exit visas, transit permits, and laissez-passer, that desperate refugees relied on to flee occupied Europe. Esteemed film scholar Richard B. Jewell connects the fictitious letters to the very tangible desperation of wartime red tape. A particularly moving moment, when patrons of Rick's Cafe sing La Marseillaise to drown out Nazi officers, held unexpected emotional weight. Numerous actors in that scene were actual European refugees. Production references point out that tears shed on screen were genuine, stirred by recollections of homeland losses. Rick's solitary chess match in his first scene isn't merely character development, it's modeled after a real game. The board arrangement echoes a noteworthy matchup from the early 1900s. Some cinema experts propose that the unfinished positions symbolize Rick's moral stalemate. And then there's As Time Goes By. Penned in 1931 by Hermann Hupfeld, the song was nearly replaced. Composer Max Steiner sought an original score, but Ingrid Bergman had already cut her hair for her next part, ruling out reshoots. On-set anecdotes suggest the tune's haunting resonance captivated everyone, making it untouchable. The Typewriter, His Girl Friday, 1940. Howard Hawks' 1940 screwball comedy, His Girl Friday shattered speed limits for dialogue, with scenes reportedly hitting around 200 to 220 words per minute, nearly double the average pace at the time. To keep up, the cast leaned heavily on visual cues and tight timing, but one unassuming prop may have played a bigger role than expected: Hildy Johnson's typewriter. Certain rumors hint that the production team disconnected the typewriter's bell to prevent it from cutting through the film's famously overlapping dialogue. Another story contends that director Hawks left a handwritten note stashed in the typewriter's drawer reading, "Faster, funnier, louder," a phrase that's echoed across film forums but remains unverified. Rosalind Russell, known for her razor-sharp improvisation, was said to have slipped ad-libbed lines into the typewriter's paper roll between takes. Whether true or not, her rapid exchanges with Cary Grant still feel one step ahead. An especially peculiar rumor claims the typewriter's keys were marked with invisible ink, visible only under stage lights, to help with continuity in close-up shots without cluttering the frame. Although no official records verify this, the idea fits with the kind of inventive problem-solving that defined Golden Age filmmaking. Even after the credits rolled, the machine may not have retired. Several devotees maintain it made a quiet return in Hawks' 1941 film Ball of Fire, tucked into the background of a newsroom scene. Intentional callback or just a recycled prop? The debate continues. Though the typewriter itself hasn't turned up in any major exhibitions, its legacy endures as a mechanical echo of Hawks' obsession with pace, and a possible Easter egg hiding in plain sight. If you've enjoyed this video, please leave a like and comment. Also consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell to get notified of our new videos each week. Thanks for watching.